Hope that you guys doing good. Well, just gonna wait a little bit and start my review on Welcom to Raccoon City, and I'm gonna load the game. Hardcore. So let you gather, guys. Let's give it a try. Guys, there's gonna be spoiler, so you better gotta be aware. No, I didn't talk about the movie since I saw it, since I didn't want it to spoil you guys, so and it wasn't out in Brazil and UK, so I was like, maybe I'm gonna wait a little bit. I like the movie, I really like it. I'm a true fan of Shinji Mikami original franchise. I'm being very honest, and I got the lore. I know what the game is all about when it comes to the trilogy, so I'm not making things up. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I know all the references in the game, and I saw them in the movie, and it's very pleasant. But before that, hold on. Johannes Roberts did a great work, in my opinion, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'll tell you why. Ça va, Kato? Tu vas bien? I'll tell you why. Because you couldn't expect the events from the video game original, scenario. Like, that's why it's a movie, a film adaptation, right? You don't want a copy-pasted film from the video game. You want something different. Otherwise, what's the point making a movie? Yep. Hello, señorita. ¿Qué tal? ¿Todo bien? Okay, so who saw the movie? Like in my can see you guys in my chat. So who saw the movie? Who didn't? If you didn't see the movie, but you better gotta leave. Leave now, because I'm gonna talk about the movie, like spoilers, and you're gonna miss a lot of things because of me. Like, I'm gonna ruin your appreciation of the movie, and I don't want you to be mad at me. So, señorita, you did. Jackie E, you didn't like it. I loved it. You have your reason, right? I got my reason. So I'll tell you, I stay there, Jackie. I'm gonna tell you why I like the movie, and you tell me why, what you think about my opinion, my review. Okay, just stay there, just waiting a little bit. So to begin with, you got to know that the game is based on Resident Evil 1 and 2. That process of combining two stories, or like stories in a movie, is called a extrapolation, and in the process of extrapolating like some sources to make the movie, you have like a second phenomenon that do happen when you do a movie. It's called elision. The elision is like something missing from the original source, and so you replace it with something, or you combine, you extrapolate like two things from the source, and that's how you get your elision. So you get a balance. That's the process. That's a dialogue process. That's how you take a source, video game, a novel, whatever, you make it a movie. You got to know those kind of things. I know it because I'm in the industry. I've been in the industry, so I know what I'm talking about, and I know how a a director think. I know how he sees things behind a camera, and when he's the process of writing, I know how he works. So I'm gonna tell you what I think about it. So, to begin with, the movie started in 1998, right? And the video games. Oh god, the video games. Well, I'm gonna get back in the safe room. See, that's one aspect of the game I wanna talk about, like the difference between the game and the movie. In the game, I can go in a safe room, wait, and then just move on. You know, you can't do that in the movie. You know, like Jill, she can't go in a safe room, wait, like I do with myself, Carlos, and then move on. You know, Jill doesn't have time for manicure. She has no room for safe room. You got the point, right? And that's where a lot of fans are maybe misinterpreting some stuff in the movie. But anyway, like I said, the movie is based on Resident Evil 1 and 2. Remake and not an original for Resident Evil 2. Original in which sense? When you see the story at the beginning of Resident Evil 2, the game, or the original one, Leon just broke up with his girlfriend, right? He did broke up with her, and as a result, he gets drunk, spend the night drinking, hangover, spend the whole night by a motel. He doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have a an apartment. He has nothing. He's basically broke. You know, he's a loser. That's the actual scenario. If you get the original scenario, you will see that what I'm saying is true. I'm not making this up. I know the movie. I know the games. So, and it's well done in the movie. You can see that transfer in the scenario where Leon is in a motel room. He's hangovered. He drink a little bit before leaving the his motel room. They go to work. Somehow he's completely lost. He's heartbroken. A lot of things happen to him. He's exhausted from, you know, like his night, and he's trying to, you know, he just wanna forget about it. Guess what? When he gets first day on the job, he gets in Raccoon City RPD, you know. Well, that's what I'm spoiling. So if you don't wanna get spoiled, leave. So when he gets by the RPD, he find out that it's all messed up. He's like at the front desk. I'm gonna show you where he stands. The front desk, remember? Oh, dude, get out of here. Hold on. It's at the front desk. That's the RPD, right? I'm by. I'm gonna take my stuff. Oh, dude. Get away, man. I'm explaining my viewers how I enjoy the movie. So he's there trying to forget about his girlfriend, and some crazy shit is happening in front of him, and he doesn't realize, because he's like he's somewhere else. He's like still drunk or hanged over, and he's there. You know, this is where he's standing, right here. Leon is here, sitting there. The door is open. There's a truck coming. Boom. You know, the truck is like, you know, like burning, and he's there standing with his Walkman, listening. I think it was Crush from Jennifer Page. And the reason why he's listening to that music is clear to me. It's very clear. It's just a little crush. Forget about her. He tried to reassure himself. He's like, oh, dude, you're just gonna listen that shit and try to forget about her. She left. She's just a little crush. It makes a lot of sense to me. It makes a lot of sense to me. I don't get why people just don't get it. The choice of the music is perfect. We're in the 19. I mean, that's not the 19, the 90s, right? It's the 90s. He comes there. He's like overwhelmed by the event. It's what the heck is going on in there, you know. Chief Iron is aware. You know, he knows exactly what's going on. He works with, you know, like Umbrella. He knows about like the stuff going on. Yeah, I miss the 90s too, man. Like I so miss the 90s. If I could go back in time, I would stay stuck in there. I swear. Thank you. Thank you. It's Buffy. What's wrong, Kato? Okay, guys, spoilers, right? Remember, I'm in there, and there's gonna be spoilers. Some of you don't want to be spoiled, so like I said, and regarding like Leon's haircut and why he doesn't shave, like me, you know, like. He doesn't shave, he doesn't care, because he just broke up with his girlfriend. He may have been through some kind of shit with her. They just didn't broke up like that. It's a process, you know. Something happened in between before they actually broke. So he doesn't give a shit about the way he looks. He doesn't give a shit about the way he looks. It's realistic. You fighting with your girlfriend? Oh, I'm gonna get a haircut because I got to be you know, like clean and whatever. Like, who gives a shit, man? You're a cop. First day on the job, your girlfriend is driving you crazy. You broke. Because Leon is broke. I don't know if you get it. You know, in the movie he's like the son of somebody, but we don't know how he got. He happened to be the son of somebody. Maybe he got like adopted. We don't know. It's not clarified. We know that he's the son of somebody, and he's lucky enough because he's been messing during the his work, right? Remember that Leon has one day of professional experience. Not even a day. Not even 24 hours. He's inexperienced. And like I said, he's a rookie. Like in the game, like just follows the story. He's a rookie. Hold on. I'll just give you some more details. Like he's a rookie, right? And he has no experience. The proof that he's a rookie is in the games. When you play the games, you know. Whether the remake or the original Resident Evil 2, Leon is late, right? He broke with his girlfriend, hanged over, spent the night by the motel, and he comes at the police station, messed up. In the remake, they told him, "Don't come, do not come. We don't want you to come." That's the remake. Because he's useless. He's inexperienced. The city is... It's crazy. Why are you gonna... Just stay home. just mortal, whatever the place you're staying at, because he doesn't have an apartment in the game, in the original game. If you think about it, he doesn't have a plan, nothing. He's just, like I said, he's a loser. He's basically a loser. No girlfriend, broke, no apartment, no plan. That's the story. That's the original story. That's not something I'm making up. You can go check this. Just go and check. Okay, Kato, I'm sorry. You don't mind spoilers. I'm sorry about it. This is the truth. I'm not making this up. So, like I said, this movie is a love letter to fans. You know, like you can say that by seeing all the references, the Easter eggs, and all the stuff in there. And not only, it's also a love letter to Italian horror movies from the 70s. You can see that through many aspects of the movie, like the lights, the lighting, you know, like the photographic director, you know, those reddish, bluish spectrum, depending on the place you are in. I believe in the RPD, it's like blue, and when they go to that when they go to the orphanage, it's reddish. When they go to the lab by the mansion, it's green or something, you know. That comes from horror movies from the 70s. If you don't get the reference, you would go like, what's going on? And that's why you got the music, what's going on, because a lot of things going on in that movie. And I get the point of the choice of the music from the 90s. Makes a lot of sense to me. And remember that Resident Evil 2 and 1 and 3 is based on horror movies from the 70s. John Carpenter is the source of the movies, of the games. And Johannes Roberts is a big fan of John Carpenter. He is making a great link between what Shinji Mikami based his movie on and the movies, and his tribute to Italian 70s horror movies. So I can see that. Some people just don't get it. You need to know that. It makes a lot of sense to me. I've seen this as a tribute. But hey. Zaria, I don't know. You know, like, I'm gonna be frank with you. I didn't see the Alice Resident Evil Paul Anderson movie. Maybe I'm gonna like it. I just didn't have the time back in the days, because I was studying, I was traveling around, so a lot of things going on. Maybe I'm gonna watch them to compare. I think like it's my preferred best Resident Evil adaptation is obviously Welcome to Raccoon City, because I saw the whole movie twice. Yeah, twice. And I didn't say that I saw like some highlights of the previous movies, but I didn't pay too much of attention. Maybe I'm gonna take my time and watch them. Yeah, Kariva Earth, Leon looked like Carlos in Resident Evil 1999. Leon in Resident Evil original from 98 is similar to Leon from the 1991 version. Similar, brown eyes, straight hair, brown hair, like a copper skin tone, like a tan, like a Mediterranean / Latin tan. Not like me, lighter than me. By the way, we all don't look like Avan Jogi. I think he's prettier than me. He's a handsome boy, you know, a guy. He's Obviously, we don't look alike. Just because we happen to be exotic doesn't mean that we look alike. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, Alan Jogia is a handsome man. Like, we don't look alike. I don't like when people say, "Oh, he should have been Carlos cause he's exotic." You know, yeah, no, he doesn't look like me. It's clear to me. No Jesse Wesley, he doesn't have blue eyes. In the cinematic, his eyes becomes blue all of a sudden in the original game. But in the game, the way Isao Ohishi draw him, designed Leon, is based on his bloodhound, or like a bloodhound in English. He's Italian. You want the source, you go check my playlist. It's called Fun Fact. There's one on Leon. The sources are all in the description. Everything. Official sources. Leon has brown eyes. The blue eyes you see is a choice from a different director using CGI or whatever. It's not the game. It's cinematics. Just like Jill in the movie, the action movie you see in Resident Evil 1, in the opening, has nothing to do with the Jill we know from Resident Evil 1. She's half Japanese, half French. She's Nikkei-jin. Nikkei-jin. You know, like, Nikkei-jin is like a diaspora, Japanese people living. I believe Jill was born in 74, so mother may have come right after World War II in America. If not, she came earlier, like in Brazil, because the two biggest Japanese diaspora happens to be number one in Brazil. Yeah, Japanese people in Brazil. Hear me right. And second, in the US. But hence we have that Inez actress portraying her, and that's all. It's all good. That's just the director. He took like a Caucasian lady to play the role of a mixed woman of Japanese heritage. I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine. It's all good. Same thing for Leon. They changed him. He became all of a sudden blonde, blue eyes, Caucasian looking guy in Resident Evil 4. You know, and it's all fine. It's all good because that's a choice. That's a artistic or marketing choice. Who cares? That's the way it is. You know, that's the way it is. Like, I don't know why people are getting mad about especially with Jill, Hannah, John Cameron, and Avan Jogia. When you look at Avan Jogia, he has the same features than Leon in Resident Evil 2 original. Same features: brown eyes, dark hair, soft copper skin, Mediterranean, tan, lighter than mine. Just like Carlos in Resident Evil 3 original from the 90s, not the remake. Anyway, it's clear to me. What else? Oh, and some fans, they're like, oh, it looks like a B movie. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's like, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. I mean, like, yeah, that's exactly what it's supposed to be, because it's a B series, right? It's supposed to be. Okay, that was the joke. Anyway, and you can find this information in wait a second. I'll tell you where you get that information. Hold on, stay there. You know, when Shinji Mikami said what was his inspiration, horror movies, like I said, from the 70s, Italian movies, and B-series movies, or movies like the American B movies. That's exactly what it's supposed to be, like cheesy, and it's well done in the movie. Like I can see that very aspect from the 90s in the adaptation from Johannes Roberts. Hey Azaria, thank you for your donation. Check your last super chat. RV3 mode is great. Thank you for your $2. Azaria, oh that's the second one. The RV3 mode I tagged you on IG. You automatically get the bad ending if you choose easy mode, which is Carlos getting killed. Had to redo the save. Okay. I wanna play that that version. I saw it in the internet and I was like, wow, that's impressive. Yeah, regarding that B-series thing, I'm gonna give you an example where I get this from, because I always have the sources, the official sources. I don't say something unless I'm sure about it. I'm very academic in the way I think, the way I proceed when I'm trying to bring arguments. I'm not being emotional. I put my emotion aside. I'm factual, facts only, sources. That's it. That's the way I am. Hold on. Hold on. Let me check my go find my Twitter account. And on my Twitter account I'm gonna show you the picture here. So I'm not supposed to do that, I guess, but hey. There's those fan art from Capcom official illustrator, and they saw like that B-movie aspect, like posters. Not from Isao Ohishi, the designer of Leon, but like from another illustrator, but Capcom illustrator. And I'll tell you the name. You can check, find the sources. It's from hold on. You know that picture? You can find this on my Twitter, right? That picture you find on Twitter, and there is a little text down the poster that I translated on my Twitter account, and I'm gonna tell you what it says. From Capcom artist Georgi Lazenby, pronounced Lazenby, Georgi Lazenby. This is what it says. Thinking Resident Evil 2 now, I thought it's like Hollywood made SF horror action movie. Hence the reference I told you. It's like so I drew a Hollywood blockbuster style poster. However, it looks like a B-class movie. And then he add Ada, I like parentheses her, everything about her crazy woman. Okay, it's right here. That's the text in Japanese right here. That's the picture you need to find on my Twitter account. Okay, you go and you check for it. Like BIOHAZARD 2って今考えるとハリウッド SF SF オラクションみたいだな。That's the Japanese. と思って、ホリウッド poster. Anyway, just go and check like yeah. Domo B. You go, you check on my it's here on my Twitter account. That's the picture I'm talking about, making the reference on Leon. And Leon on that picture, by the way, has brown eyes, brown hairs, brown eyes. See, I'm not making this up. That's the real design of, that's the real original Leon. Same features as Avanjogia. So, with that said, let's move on. So you got two Capcom illustrators, Isao Ohishi, the father, the designer of Leon, who stated that he's Italian immigrant to some point. He's an Italian immigrant to some point. You can find this in the Capcom work design. It's an official book. You go to my fun fact playlist on my YouTube channel. You check the sources. There's a link. There's the digital copy of that Capcom work. Page 27. Go and check. Check the eyes. Check the hair. Check the inspiration. Blood do junto. Blood do junto. Blood do junto. It's like his blood hund, because he has the color palette from that type of dog. Not making this up. This is the truth. It's sealed by the cover page of the Capcom official works book that you can find on that fun fact playlist in the sources on the description. Go and check by yourself. I invite you to do this. Hold on, wait a second. Renato, did you know that Renato, Jax, did you know that Jill is half Japanese? You know that? Are you aware that she's Japanese? Because obviously when Leon in the movie happens to be of mixed heritage, Canadian, Caucasian, white Caucasian, and Indian from his father's side, he's brown, Mexican, Indian. That's what people remember. They don't see the Caucasian side. They only see the exotic side. You know, like people like exotism, obviously. Same thing for Hannah John Kamen. She's black. You know, she's black only. You know, she's Norwegian, by the way, from the mother's side, Nigerian from the father's side. But she's only black when she's playing Jill. You know, because she's mixed heritage. Guess what? Jill is of mixed heritage. She's half Japanese, so that makes her half Asian, right? She's Asian only, because obviously when there is a POC, people of color, they have to be categorized as exotic and colored only. You know, like, but you know what? It doesn't work when it comes to Jill. When you remind that she's Japanese and only Japanese, because obviously you forget about the other side. You know. For Leon, Indian, brown, Mexican, breakdancer, to some point, he looks like me. He looks nothing like me. People making I've heard people saying Avan Joga has curly hair. Excuse me? This guy could do like some commercial for L'Oreal. He has the most elegant straight hair that I've ever seen in my life. And people telling he has straight hair. No, he doesn't have. He has straight hair, obviously. He doesn't have curly hair. I do, when they long. He doesn't. Why people making shit up? You know, like, oh, he looks like Carlos. He doesn't look like me. I'm Carlos, and I'm telling you, he doesn't look like me. This is not true. This is just like some crazy people, angry people trying to categorize Avan with me because we people of color, and that's stupid. That's the most. It's like if I'm saying, oh, that you see that Thor-looking guy, the actor, I forgot his name. He looks like exactly like Stark, you know, like Iron Man, because they Caucasian. Oh yes, they have the same hair. No, they look different. They're not the same person. Just because you happen to be Caucasian, or brown, or whatever, or exotic, doesn't mean that you look alike. This is not true. This is a fantasy that you're fueling with maybe hatred. I don't know what this is, but there's something wrong with these people, you know, trying to categorize me or Avan or Hannah John Carmen. No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what. Jill is mixed, so it makes more sense to me to have a Jill with mixed heritage in the adaptation. And by the way, in adaptation, you can change the actor. It doesn't matter. Look, Aquaman, you know, he's blonde in the comics, blue eyes, blonde, neat shaved, like he doesn't have a beard. Guess what? Jason Momoa. He has a beard like me. He's not blonde. He doesn't have blue eyes. Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury. Have you seen Nick Fury in the original comic? See? And some people are funny, I swear. Maybe he's Brazilian. I think he is Renato Jax. I think Carlos is Brazilian because Oliveira is a Brazilian name. I mean Portuguese. You know, I don't know Oliveira with the way it's spelled in Spanish countries. I've never seen such name. It's more like Portugal, like Cabo Verde, Brazil, Angola, those countries with Portuguese influences. That aside, let's move on. There's so many things to talk about regarding this movie. You know, I wish it was longer, to be frank. You know, I wish it was longer, but I so enjoyed it that I watched it twice. Anyway, remember that the movie is inspired from B-movies, B-series. Like I say, you go check my my Twitter. You check the picture I showed you earlier, and you'll check by yourself. I did type the whole thing, so you don't have, you know, like you don't have like to worried about how am I gonna get the text. I did it for you guys. So what you can do, I translated for you guys. I did put it in the description when I posted the picture. If you have a doubt, you can take it, check letters by letters in Japanese, ask a Japanese friend and ask him to translate for you. Go ahead. What I'm saying is pure truth, pure fact. No lies with me, no distortion. My words with sources and fact. Good observation. This is it. Okay, I'm gonna talk about Wesker now. Some people complaining about, like, you know, Wesker is a good guy. You know, you need to listen what Johannes Robert is saying. Remember, that's not the game. Remember, it's a movie adaptation with its own plot. The movie is really faithful. Faithful doesn't mean copy-pasted. You know, look the definition of faithful if you have a problem with that word. Just go and check. And check the definition of adaptation, extrapolation, elision. Now, keywords you need to you need to know in order to get what is an adaptation. So, extrapolation, elision. Extrapolation is when you fuse things together. Elision is when there's not enough. The original source is too big, so you can't compress the whole thing. So you have to drop some stuff. This is elision. And to balance extrapolation, what you do is you fuse some stuff. Like for Wesker, he's extrapolated with Barry, because Barry is the traitor in Resident Evil 1. You know, he's manipulated by Wesker. But in the movie, Wesker is Barry. Technically, he's the one betraying the stars, right? So there's an illusion of Barry, but in the same time, he's extrapolated with Wesker. So now, why he's not wearing his glasses? Why? The sunglasses is his signature. Wesker is already established in the game. Johannes Roberts said in his interviews that in the adaptation he wants the viewers to understand how he became bad, you know, like in the movie, in the game, he's already a bad guy. We know he's a manipulator, we know he's a traitor. We get to learn this as we're playing, but it's obvious. But in the movie, there's a process how he became like that, and I'm gonna tell you why. So Johannes Roberts explains that he wants to show how Wesker sold his soul to the devil, right? In the adaptation. And remember, that's a separate universe. That's not the same as the games. It's slightly different. The idea in this adaptation is to perceive Wesker's sympathy as a human, so we can witness the evolution of his dark progression. Right? He's torn apart. He's like he's torn between his desire to get out of his hustled, boring routine with the stars, but in the same time he has an attachment to the stars. Jill in particular, we believe they may have a story together. So Wesker is not yet a monster. It's a process, and you can see that in the movie. He's trying to forget about who he's supposed to be. He works for the cops, for the stars, is elite cop, whatever, but still he's living in a shitty Raccoon City place. The city is like in ruin. It's like bankrupt city, and we don't know if he's being blackmailed by that mysterious society Ada is working for. In the game, he's obviously hired by Umbrella. He's a scientist in the game, and a stars. But in the movie, he's hired by a strange society that is trying to steal the advancement of Birkin research. He's sent there. They give him instruction. They're telling him, you're gonna go there. Mansion's gonna be there. City's gonna explode. This time you're gonna have to leave. Birkin's gonna be there. And that's how Jill finds out about Wesker, being a traitor. His intention is to leave them. Jill is trying to convince him. She comes back. We see Wesker becoming, step after step, like like a piece of shit, because he's executing people. I'm not gonna say who. He's executing people. He's almost killing a little girl. Jill is there, hopefully. Then he has some regret. He's telling, "Hey mate, I wasn't gonna kill her." But obviously, he was gonna do it. People saying, "Oh, Wesker he's nice." He's not nice anymore. He's becoming awful. You kill someone, you point a lady. Wesker is a nice guy in the movie. Yeah, maybe when he was getting his Jill sandwich, but later in the movie he's not a nice guy anymore. So it's stupid to say that Wesker is he's a nice man in the movie. That's not true. Just watch the movie and you'll see. I mean, you're supposed to be aware of this if you're watching my my review. Yeah, and for the sunglasses, like, I don't know if you know, but when you write a story, the sunglasses, they have a connotation. They have a meaning. The sunglasses are there to reduce the character development, Wesker, you know. So the sunglasses are there to reduce his humanity if he was to wear them in the movie, while in the game Wesker wearing these sunglasses is meant to symbolize that he's essentially a soulless monster already. Like I say, he's already established in the game, but not in the movie. We don't have the Wesker with his sunglass, with his signature, yet. Because if he wears sunglasses, like I said, if he wear his sunglasses, he's already a soulless monster. But anyway, by the way, I did assume, if you go and check like the vignette on Instagram from that Welcome to Raccoon City movie, I did assume that he was gonna wear them in the end of the movie. Spoiler. And I had assumed that Wesker would wear the sunglasses at the end of the movie with a close-up on his face to mark a chapter of his life. With a, I was expecting this red eye to pop up, you know, to punctuate that he's a fallen angel or devil, rebirth of Wesker. But obviously we don't see the eye, but we can see that he's like almost blind, you know, his eyes are getting fucked up from being revived. Now rebirth, revived, that's exactly what I was expecting. Because I know how to process when you write a story. I know how he works. I know the process. Wesker wearing his sunglasses right at the beginning of the movie would make no sense if we had to discover how he became Wesker with his sunglasses. So I was like, okay, this may gonna happen like this and like this and like this. Go check the vignettes on Instagram. Try to find my comments on Tom Hopper vignettes, on Wesker vignettes. Find me, and you will see that before the movie came out, I was like, this is gonna happen like this, and I was right. Go and check. By the way, there may be a sequel of the movie, you know, like people saying like, why he's wearing like shitty sunglasses in the end of the movie. Like I said, you know, like Ada is appearing. Sorry guys, that's a spoiler. Ada is coming at the end of the movie. She's reviving Wesker after he got killed. So he's revived, and Ada is giving him like shitty sunglasses, and people are saying, oh, why is he wearing like some sunglasses? That's not Wesker's sunglasses. He's not, the sunglasses is not supposed to be like this. Guess what? Ada doesn't give a shit about Wesker. She's a spy. She doesn't give a shit about Leon. You know, she's manipulating Leon. You think she's gonna care about Wesker? Oh, let me get this. Let me get those Ray-Bans or whatever, or Gucci. She doesn't give a shit. She probably went to some gas station in Raccoon City, got some random stuff, throw him in his face at the end of the movie. Wear this. Get used to. Your eyes are fucked up, but that's because you've been revived, and that's some side effect. There's gonna be some other. Wesker's gonna wear his own sunglasses later. He's gonna take some he likes later. It makes sense to me. That, oh, Wesker's not wearing his sunglasses. His supposed hyper stylish sunglasses. You think that's Ada's gonna give him like some glasses she bought by like the Gucci store or what? Makes no sense. Ada, man, she doesn't give a shit about Leon. She's gonna care about Wesker? Riddle me that. Nobody, by the way, nobody respects Leon in the game. If you think about it. In the games, I'm talking. Ada, she doesn't care about him. She manipulates him. Leon is like being so manipulated in the game that he gets the the antidote or like the vaccine or like the T virus or G virus for Ada. He does the work for her. He doesn't realize because he's inexperienced. 1 day of training, man, of professional training, 1 day of service at the police station, not even 24 hours. At some point, he even asked Claire and even Ada to stick together, and Ada goes like, no. Claire goes like, no, hell no, stay by your side, man. Like, you're a rookie? Are you kidding me? He's not serious. Like, he's too young, he's inexperienced, like, in the game, right? I'm not making this up, that's the plot in the game. So the Leon we have in the game, in the movie, the meme makes sense. You know, he's clumsy, he's funny, he's like inexperienced, he's heartbroken, drunk to some point, still drunk at the beginning of the movie. Mama, like I said, Leon just got laid in the beginning of the movie, the game and the movie, because that's how it's supposed to be. That's faithful to the game. And this detail is quite well transcribed in my opinion, which, like I said, explains his negligent aspect, you know. Why shaving? Why getting a haircut? Why, he's gonna seduce like Chief Iron or whatever? I don't know, maybe the Doberman's in... No, it makes no sense. And they even make fun of him if you watch the movie. Chief Iron's like, go get a haircut, what the heck? Or he says something like that, you know, making fun of him. Remember that Ada, she's manipulating Leon in the movie, in the game. Not in the movie, but in the games. Not in the game, in the games, the remake and the original, both of them. She manipulates him. She manipulates him. He's a rookie, he doesn't see what's going on. He's falling in the trap. And he's inexperienced. He's so inexperienced that Ada saved him 3 times, no less than 3 times in the games. 3 times. Remember with the Doberman? In the parking lot, in the RPD? When she shot the dog? Then Mr. X, she took the truck or whatever it was, that vehicle, she bumped him, then blew it up. That makes it twice. And then she saved him 1 more time at the end of the game in the remake, when she sent him the rocket launcher. If Ada wouldn't be there, Leon would be dead. He's not the super agent, like 007 like agent that we know in Resident Evil 4 yet. Leon is a total mess in Resident Evil 2, and he ends up in a total mess, in a total Raccoon City mess, with no experience. He's lucky. Ada is even saying something like he got some kind of lucky spell or something. He never gets killed. He's a lucky guy. He's not experienced in Resident Evil 2. I think she made that comment in Resident Evil 4. She's like, Leon doesn't die for some reason. He has like something is saving him, like some lucky charm or whatever. I'm not making this up. You go and check this. Yeah, not playing the game, but you know, that's not the point. I just want to do a review about the movie. I really like it. I wish it was longer, but you know, budget restriction. I think of 40 million they used 25 millions. The rest was for marketing, like for sanitary reasons, because of you know, like the 19C, if you know what I mean, the expanse that they had to do and everything. So I think like 25 millions is the budget they use for the whole movie. which is decent when you see the result. I really like it. I'm satisfied. What else should I talk about? The lighter in the dark. When Chris is using his lighter, that's a reference of horror movies, 70s Italian movies. And that's a reference of Chris lighter too, from Resident Evil 1. If you didn't get this, you're not a true fan. I mean, you may be a fan, but not from day one. You don't know Resident Evil 1 or the remake. Hey Kato, thank you for your donation. Thank you, Kato. €2. Previously another super chat. Sorry, I was absorbed by what I was saying. I'm trying to read your messages in the same time, so I'm sorry. Let me see. So there's another one, right? Okay, Kato, take my money, you smart, handsome cookie. Thank you, Kato. Dankeschön für dafür. Dafür und ich glaube, dass dein Geld ist schön. I'm just saying BS. Thank you, Kato. Appreciate your donation. What else? Give me some idea if you want me to explain you something that I didn't see. Maybe something you saw in the movie. Something I saw and you don't know something. Some references. Because there's so many references. I can't list them. I've seen so many references in that adaptation. It's very faithful. It's just crazy. Like, when it comes to this, Johannes Roberts did an amazing volume of work. You have no idea how long this could be. That's a long process. You have to frame the game, like step by step, frame by frame, to get like some elements and shove them in the movie. That ain't easy. Sehr gern. No Dragon Teaser. I don't know what's the Ukrainian serial stuff you're talking about. Well, that's not the point. I'm trying to talk about the movie here. Welcome to Raccoon City. So remember, the Chris reference with the lighter is not only a reference to Chris with his lighter. There's also a horror movie reference there with the lighter. Italian horror movie from the 70s. Look for it. Look 70s Italian horror movie and lighter. There's always that thing coming with the lighter. So I think it's interesting how Johannes Roberts put some Carpenter and Resident Evil references and fuse them, extrapolate them, and some people just don't see them. No, I can see it. I clearly see what he was doing. And I think it was great. That's very interesting. Remember that Shinji Mikami took his inspiration from those movies too, not only Johannes Roberts. It's like some kind of inception, Mikami is taking inspiration from B-series, horror movies, Italian horror movies from the 70s, inject them in the game, then he put some Carpenter and everything in there. Then Johannes Roberts come, and he has the same reference. So it's like inception of something that has been used in the game that he reused in the movie. Well, that's great. That's great to me. So Mr. X, okay, very good. Mr. X, Kariva Earth. I'm gonna be frank with you. I didn't see him. Okay, but there's a Tyron-ish extrapolation, elision and extrapolation. The Tyron. Remember what extrapolation and elision is, right? In the process of doing adaptation from novels, games, whatever. Tyron is not there, right? But so there's a lesion there of Tyron, but he's extrapolated with Birkin. You can see his claw, his hand. Birkin is somehow the spectrum of Tyron 2002, I believe, from Resident Evil 1. There's an extrapolation, and to balance the illusion, they put them together the same way they put Wesker and Barry together. Wesker is the new Barry, basically. I get the stuff, some people just don't get it. It makes sense to me. Remember, that's a small budget movie. But still, I'm very grateful to Johannes Roberts and all the actors, everybody working on that project. Thank you if you're watching this. Thank you guys, you did great. By the way, best actor, in my opinion, is Avan Jogia, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because he plays his roles perfectly. You can see that he's been working with people before. You know, when you act, there's two types of acting. And when you're acting, there's personal acting type or ish, and there's acting when you have to communicate and work with a team. I believe Avon was doing like some stuff before, and he has been in that kind of environment when he have to interact with others, and you can tell he does it very well. He's a great actor. I'm serious. I can tell when someone is good. Avon was the best actor. Some people are gonna say, yeah, but Leon is like clumsy, he's a clown, whatever. You know, when you go to a police station on your first day on the job, it's your first day, you've been transferred because you've been messing up, shooting in somebody's ass because you're clumsy. You have to put some reason why he has been transferred. They choose that reason. That's the reason why he got moved there in Raccoon City. You know what? I'm fine with that. It's funny, he's clumsy, I'm fine with it. So he got there by Raccoon City, people making fun of him, he's getting bullied, and that's the way it is, that's realistic. New cop coming from an academy, clumsy, being transferred because he messed up, makes sense to me. When you go and start new work, no matter what kind of job, whether you're a teacher, I've been a teacher, by the way, mathematics teacher in the past and science teacher, and in France. And you are being bullied somehow. You know, whether you're a cop, whether you're a teacher, whether you're working for whatever kind of work, whatever, it makes sense. Especially when you work for the cop. He's new. His mates making fun of him. They clown him around because he's clumsy, because he broke up with his girlfriend. They may be aware of this. Oh, the clown is there. It makes sense. Yeah, Robbie Arnold is a good actor too. By the way, they're all great actors, all of them. But the best to me, who did the best impression according to his role, was Avan for sure. And I explained why. Because Avan knows how to work with people around him, and you can see that you can tell he's been doing this before. You can tell. It's something I can feel. I don't know if you. That's how I felt. Oh, this guy's been working in an environment when he's been working with all the people around him, and you can tell he has some, you know, like the way he communicates, the way he plays, is like very intuitive. Yep. Hey Alex, good to have you with us. No, I think like I like the role you know, like Chief Iron. I don't know if you know, but in the games, Chief Iron is a weirdo. That's how they define him in the game. people who's been working on that project, if you check the Mikami interview or like some interviews from people doing that game back in the days, you can find this on the internet. Maybe I'll put it in the description somehow later. And they explain that he's a weirdo. They explain why they put that they choose the police station, why they made the choice to make it an ancient museum. The reason is Chief Iron, because he's a weirdo. You know, he has like some stuff in his personal office, like some tiger, some whatever, like some eagle, some crazy stuff going on. Well, in the movie it's weird, but in a different way, and that fits perfectly. He's very intense. Like I said, for Hannah John Kamen, I think she nailed the role. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I can't see a Jill in a movie closing door, waiting behind a safe room, and playing like playing cache-cache, like we say in France. You know, you hide, you wait. There's no monsters. Oh, let's move on. Like I said, she doesn't have room to play around. She doesn't have room. There's no room for like manicure, like being elegant. You know what the heck? Movie is about to explode. The city is about to explode. The city is in its outbreak there. You think that someone who's too classy, too fancy fits in that kind of horror movie? That's a horror movie. That's horror movie with a spectrum of a 90s action movie. It's not the game. No room for save room. Jill in the movie fits. Hannah John Kamen fits Jill perfectly. Yes, she is not quite the same when it comes to the look, but that's an adaptation. Like I say, look, Samuel L. Jackson, Aquaman, and Nick Fury, Jason Momoa, they look nothing like the original comics, but they did the job great, and I like the movies. Non, Témil, alors Carole Caten, tu dis Julien Chiez. Alors je crois que j'ai regardé celui de Julien Chiez et je crois que je les ai regardés, hein. C'est ceux qui font les chaînes de game là, hein. De game, ouais. Carole Caten, je l'ai regardé, Julien Chiez, je crois que je l'ai. Je crois qu'elle apparaît dans les deux, non? Mais j'ai regardé, il y a beaucoup de choses où ils se méprennent, hein. En fait, eux ils sont spécialisés dans les jeux vidéo. T'as vu? C'est pas des critiques, ils connaissent pas le métier d'acteurs, ils savent pas comment on écrit un scénario, il y a beaucoup de choses ils se méprennent sur pas mal de choses. Je pense qu'ils sont malhonnêtes, hein. Il y a pas mal de malhonnêteté ou peut-être de manque de déontologie professionnelle dans le sens où bah, ils sont pas dans la critique. Donc ils sont dans le jeu vidéo mais pas dans la critique de films. Pour moi, je prends pas ça sérieusement. C'est pas sérieux pour moi. Si tu regardes un truc sérieux, écoute ce que je dis, regarde. Je mettrai des timestamps, je mettrai des sources plus tard et tu verras. Je suis vraiment honnête, hein. Par exemple, quand ça parle de Lisa Trevor et des lunettes ça s'arrête sur des détails. Je crois que Julien Chiez, à un moment, il parle de lunettes. Des lunettes de Wesker. Mais comme j'ai dit. Sorry guys, I'm speaking French now. Comme j'ai dit, pourquoi est-ce que Ada, à la fin du film, je suis désolé de spoiler, hein. Là il va y avoir un spoiler. Pourquoi est-ce que Ada, elle irait se soucier d'aller acheter des lunettes, des Ray-Ban ou des Gucci ou des lunettes de qualité supérieure à Wesker? Pourquoi? La ville est sur le point d'exploser, elle les a probablement chopés dans une station de service, à la va-vite, tu sais, les trucs à 2 balles là. Comme il les décrit, bah c'est vraiment des lunettes à 2 balles, c'est cohérent pour moi. Ada, elle est discrète, elle vient, boum, elle turave un truc, elle ship un truc vite fait dans une station, ou bien je sais pas où, elle balance ça à la gueule de Wesker à la fin, vas-y mets ça là, tu vas avoir des Des effets secondaires, c'est normal, il y en aura d'autres. Elle qui s'en fout déjà, qui se fout de la gueule de Léon, elle va se soucier de Wesker. Et c'est une super spy cette meuf, elle est froide. Elle manipule Léon comme excuse-moi, un chien de la casse. Elle le manipule comme jamais. Elle le prend par les émotions. Elle lui fait faire le sale boulot. Limite, il a failli se faire buter à cause d'elle. Elle l'a sauvé 3 fois. Par pitié. Parce qu'elle le manipulait. Une fois avec le clébard. Dans le... Je te parle du jeu, hein. Dans le parking lot. Une seconde fois, quand elle lui rentre dedans avec la fourgonnette, elle le fait éclater. Et une 3e fois à la fin, elle lui balance le lance-roquette. Si elle serait pas là. Ce qui prouve que Léon, c'est pas le super-héros qui décrit, mais Léon devient un super agent 007 uniquement dans Resident Evil 4. Dans Resident Evil 2, Léon c'est un loser. Il se réveille en retard le jour de son premier jour de taf. Il est caisse, il a la gueule de bois, il a passé la nuit à boire parce il s'est fait têche par sa meuf. C'est l'histoire officielle, ça, tu peux le checker. Donc il passe la soirée à boire. Il se réveille gueule de bois, il est en retard. Il a pas d'appartement, pas de plan. Ça c'est l'histoire originale, hein, je l'invente pas. Hein. En fait, c'est un peu normal que quand tu arrives dans une station de police, ton premier jour t'es en retard, tu te fais bisuter. Ils prennent, on te prend pour un clown, on se fout de ta gueule, c'est un peu normal. Hein, c'est pas le jeu vidéo, c'est clair pour moi. Enfin, il y a des choses, des détails à... C'est pas sur ça que tu dois t'intéresser en substance quand tu fais de la critique. Par exemple, on reproche, pourquoi il les porte pas ces lunettes du rôle film. Bah, je l'ai expliqué, c'est très cohérent. Johannes Roberts explique tout simplement que déjà il faut savoir que les lunettes, elles ont une fonction narrative. Quand tu portes des lunettes dans un film, des lunettes noires en particulier, c'est genre Mr. Smith, tu vois, c'est quelqu'un de froid. Tu peux pas lire dans ses pensées. Tu sais pas c'est qui. Le bonhomme c'est un méchant, il est chelou. C'est déjà un personnage établi en tant que méchant. Là c'est pas le cas. Là le Wesker du film, ce n'est pas le Wesker du jeu. Qui est déjà établi, qui est déjà méchant. Là, Johannes Roberts explique tout simplement qu'on découvre le personnage et qu'on voit cette transition. Et contrairement à ce qu'il dit, je crois Julien Chaise à un moment il dit ouais... il fait une remarque du genre, il se fout de la gueule de Wesker parce qu'il est gentil. Il n'est pas gentil, il est en train de devenir horrible, crapuleux. Il a buté, il a buté les parents d'une petite devant elle de sang-froid. Bastos dans la tête, normal. C'est ça gentil. Je sais pas c'est quoi la définition de gentil pour ce gars-là, mais moi, je sais pas si les gens qui fréquentent, si c'est ces gens-là qui fréquentent. Ce genre de gentil qui fréquente, mais j'aimerais pas être autour de lui quand il fréquente des gens méchants, honnêtement, hein, parce que, je sais pas, on n'a pas la même vision du mot gentil, je pense. Hein. Sorry guys, I was explaining something to some French guy there, about like some comment made by some video game specialist, or whatever. Let me move on. Liza Trevor. Il parle aussi de Liza Trevor, je vais en parler. Okay. And by the way, you know the zombie that when Chris is using his lighter, you know the zombie that is roaming around while he's trying to light the room, is the zombie that was making fun of Leon at the beginning. You know, when he was telling him, oh, you're a clown. He was clowning him around, which is normal when you're being bullied on your first day on the job. Makes sense. So I think that's the same cop, because I've seen it twice, and I'm pretty sure that's him. Since when he's in the Emmy restaurant, he's being sent by the mansion. So I think it's him. He looks like him anyway. Liza Trevor. Let's talk about Liza Trevor. You know, Liza Trevor, she doesn't appear in Resident Evil 1 original. She only appears in Resident Evil 1 Rebirth or Remake and she doesn't have like a special character development at all in the video game. It's more exploited in the adaptation than in the movie. Yes, she's adult in the movie, but we're not in the same universe here. The Liza Trevor we have in the movie, she's like somehow the friend of the friend. She knows Chris. Somehow she knows, but she's seen Chris at least once, and Jill, and not Jill, but Claire. There is a connection, and I like the way it has been made. So Liza Trevor somehow has been raised in the orphanage, just like Chris Redfield and Claire Redfield. No, because Liza Trevor is gonna become a guinea pig. She's already a guinea pig, and it's traumatic. And if you think about it, she has a more developed history in the movie adaptation than in the game. Because when you think about it, Liza she's been manipulated by a scientist from their sadism for the research. She was being subjected to inconclusive experiments, so it's logical to think that she became the link connecting her between a chain of failed experiments and the glimmer of a conclusive or to a conclusive observation despite the previous failure. You can see the failure I'm talking about when Claire goes in the orphanage and goes like through that room, secret room and elevator, whatever. She ends up in the mansion or part of the mansion or tunnel, I'm not quite sure. And she finds like some folders and you see the name, lot of kids, failure, dead, they're all dead. Liza Trevor only survived. And obviously there's an Easter egg of Resident Evil Code Veronica. You see like the twins, like what was the name? I forgot the name of the twins in Veronica. Ashford twins, I think. And they you see Birkin around them, so I think they were his subject to some point. But like I said, Liza Trevor has a very special story. She has a link with Claire in particular that you can see in the beginning of the movie. It's well done. When you see that dynamic, that guinea pig kids, orphans being manipulated, I like the way the connection is made with the Redfields and the orphanage. I can imagine that despite the brutality of her mutation, she managed to stabilize emotionally, unlike in the game. In the game she's a complete monster. She only reminds that she had a mother, and she's looking for a mother face. She's wearing, by the way, here. But in the movie it's slightly different. She's more human-ish than a monster. So she's more like monster side in the game, but she's more human side in the movie, and I like it. Because like I said, she probably managed to stabilize emotionally. At the opposite of the game version where she's more bestial. An observation that scientists were particularly looking looking forward to turn them into docile soldiers and sell them to the government or like military agencies or whatever. In short, it's logical that Liza Trevor developed a superhuman strength. Some people complaining about like spoiler when she fight with the liquor and destroys Joe, and you know, man, she's supposed to be a monster. That's the point of Umbrella research. You know, they want to make like super soldier. That makes sense. She's a Nemesis type, in my opinion. I think like Liza Trevor, because she has tentacles like Nemesis, you know. So maybe she's been injected some G unit virus. G unit? No, I'm kidding. 50 Cent. Well, like I said, in short, it's logical that she developed a superhuman strength. This is precisely the object of Umbrella's research, selling soldiers slash zombie almost invincible or invisible, because she's very stealth camouflage ish when she's roaming in the orphanage in the tunnel between the orphanage and the Spencer Mansion. Hence the scene, like I said, where she breaks the liquor's jaw, because you know she's very steals. Even the liquor doesn't seem to detect her. She's very like a snake, like Metal Gear Snake. Like you can't detect her. She's invisible. She's very strong. She's the glimmer that the researcher and the scientists were looking during all these years. You know, she survived from horrible stuff that other kids didn't support, and they all died. And like I say, Claire is like taking folders, and she see like a lot of names. She's crying. She's like, what the fuck happened here? And it's very sad, to be frank, when you think about it, but it's a movie. And yeah, makes sense to me. William Birkin is a piece of shit when you think about it, I swear. But hey, it's a movie. And like I say, William Birkin and Mr. X are being extrapolated, since there's an illusion of the Tyrant and Mr. X. So there's an illusion that is balanced by the extrapolation. This is why you have that Birkin with the claw, you know, like the hand, just like the Tyrant. I think that's why they gave that close-up on his hand. When he comes in the movie, he starts to mutate, you know, with the popping eyes, and the transformation is great. I swear, you got to see that. I mean, you probably see that, but I swear I loved it when Birkin started to mutate. Oh my goodness! I was like, oh man, that's the movie I was looking for when I was younger, back in the 90s. Yeah. Who is Liza? Liza Trevor? She's a monster who has a really sad story. You know, she's not in Resident Evil 1 original, but she's been introduced in Resident Evil Rebirth. And what happened to her is really sad in the movie and the games. So, like I said, in the movie she's more like bestial, while in the game she's more in the movie she's more human, stabilized emotionally, than she is in the game. In the game she's more a monster. She's lost somewhere in her memories. Like she reminds some stuff, that's why she's roaming around. But that's the only thing that motivate her in the games, you know. She knows that she's been in some places before. This is why she's like roaming around, but she's a monster. She's bestial. In the game, it's different. In the movie, it's different. I'll explain you that. What I got from the movies. You know, some people is like, why she's handcuffed if she's the orphanage, whatever. Cause she's a monster. Huh? She's been like injected T-virus. Like I said, I think she's the same type of Nemesis, cause she has tentacles. Mr. X doesn't have. Tyron doesn't have. She does. And Nemesis does. So I think that's the same type of virus they inject to her. Not quite sure. This is something you need to check actually. I don't have the sources for what I said, so check it. That's my that's something I assume, okay? Liza Trevor character has no depth or proper development in the video game, just like I said. She's in fact a guinea pig with a story much more exploited in the film adaptation, even if it's different from the games. In the game, she has shifted more to the monstrous side, while in the film, it's her humanity and the love she has for her mother that animates her steps, just like in the game, you know. She has a mother face somewhere here because she remembers somehow that she was once the daughter of someone. But in the game, in the movie, it's more developed. I like the way they develop the story. In the game, she has a her monster face is a way. Her mother face is a way for her to remember that she was born a young girl. But it's also a way, a visually speaking, visually speaking, to remind the viewer or player that she is not completely a monster. You know, it works in both sense in the game, just like in the movie. She's neither totally dead. Actually, she's been killed many times in the games. Wesker killed her. She got revived. If you read like the story, you know, when you read the letters in the games, like the scientists executed her. They tried to kill her many times, but she's been revived many times. Last time she got executed, she ended up somewhere where you meet her in the game with Jill, you know, like in that place, that you know, that kind of house in the middle of the yard, you know. That's where she's been executed. But they didn't expect her to be revived because she's almost invincible. Wesker killed her in the end of the game, but she's still alive. And he's like, Wesker is saying something like this in the end of the game, like, be a good girl and die this time, you know, like die properly. He's saying something and then he run. If you didn't play the game, I'm sorry, that's a spoiler. Sorry. So Mother Face is a way for her to remember that she was once a girl, like I said, and she's neither totally dead nor totally alive. She's only the spectrum of herself, a shadow in the light, because the way she walks is actually like the way she moves. She's like a shadow. It's very well done in the movie, I swear. She is invincible. Claire only saw her, you know. Chris doesn't seem to be aware she's there because she's very still camouflage mod in the movie, you know. Claire has a connection with her, obviously. Maybe she's more sensitive to her. Maybe when Liza Trevor comes to see her, she can identify through the prism of something that Claire has. Maybe the baby doll. By the way, there is an Easter egg of the baby doll you find in Resident Evil 2 orphanage in the game. You know, that strange face baby doll that you find. Maybe that's the reason why she comes every night. She's spying on her. Then they befriend somehow. I like how they made the connection. You don't have this in the games. You have this in the movie only, and I like it. She's still a kid in the movie at the beginning, then she grew up. I think she's maybe 20 or something. Not quite sure. And she moves, like I say, like a shadow, still camouflage. It's very I like the way they picture this aspect, you know, like the way that the cinematographic transfer, the way they transfer this in the game, it's very well done. I mean, like Johannes Roberts is obviously a smart guy, you can tell. Yes, a lot of things all over the places, but remember, small budget. You know, 2 stories, interpolation, and you have like to do a dialogue process. When you have 5 video games character, basically they're all the same, you know. Basically all the same. They don't have proper development or story development, so you have to make choices. Like I understand that some people they're upset with Leon, you know, because he's being clowned around, but that's the way it is when you're a cop. And it makes sense to me. You have to find a reason why he's being like overplayed by his mates, you know, like, and the reason was because he messed up shooting somebody's ass. You can be clumsy, you know, like you're not in the video game, or you are the hero manipulating with your controller Leon, and you can save people. In the movie it's different. It's the story, you know. You can't interact. You have to make a proper story to develop stories for everybody. You know, they all, like, if you think about it, all of them happens to be super badass. They're all badasses in the movie. You can't have 5 badasses for the character developments. It's too much. So they decide to make choices. Jill's gonna be crazy. Leon's gonna be clumsy and a kind of loser, you know, like clown around, because that's the first day of his job. And the reason, and how we're gonna show this, we're gonna find a way to introduce Leon that way. So he's been messing around. He's been transferred in the in Raccoon City, shitty town. He broke with his girlfriend, got drunk, slept by the motel. By the way he wakes up in the motel at the beginning of the movie is an Easter egg. Remember Resident Evil 1, when you start the game, there's the zombie who goes like this and wake up in the black suit. The opening of the movie is a close-up on Leon waking up like this on the white sheet, right? Like a bed sheet, right? Don't get it wrong. The way the movie closes is the same. Wesker is waking up, but in a black sheet. Remember the color: white opening, black ending. Did you get it? You see the connection? You see how smart? That's brilliant. I know people don't see some stuff. I understand how you write a story, how you develop a story. I think it's smart. That's a reference here. We have Leon waking up in his white sheet, like this, like a zombie. Hence the reference in Resident Evil 1. And the way the movie ends is also a reference, but there is a light and there is a color. What can I say? Volte-face. You got white and black. He wakes up in white. The movie opens with white and closes with like a black reference. I don't know if you get my point, but I know what I'm talking about. Anyway. Ouais, il y a plein MLT militants. Alors, il y a plein de spoilers. Faut pas que tu restes ici si t'as pas vu le film. So, like I said, you know, I'm gonna come back to Liza Trevor. Liza Trevor, she moves like more of like a shadow, like a ghost. She's a ghost, literally. But not only, she's a spectrum. She's trying to find the ROM, the browse in her past. You know, she's wandering between the tunnel which connects her monstrous aspect to her childhood, as to the image of the tunnel, in which she goes back and forth to connect her with her past. By past, I mean like orphanage, because that's where she spent her life. You know, like before mother got killed, because her mother get killed by Birkin in the game. When you read the folders, the stories, she explained how she lost her mother and everything. So I think there's a link in there, and that's how she gets her mother face, like here. And that's how she connects to from the past and the present through that tunnel. You know, she's going back and forth. It's literally very well scenarized. Now, I like the way it's presented. I know that not everybody can get these points. I know what he's trying to do. I know what Johannes Roberts is doing. I know how he writes. I can see through lines stuff that you may have missed, but I can see what he's doing. I know why he chose the tunnel, why Lisa Trevor is like a ghost. You know, I explained this previously. It makes sense to me. It's brilliant. I don't know. I liked it. MLT Militant, regarde la vidéo. À un moment, je parle en français, je développe pourquoi Léon il est comme ça. Mais faut pas oublier que Léon, rappelle-toi, dans le jeu, hein, dans le remake, comme dans l'original, c'est un loser. Hein. Dans l'original, c'est un mec qui n'a pas d'appartement, qui n'a pas de plan, qui vient de se faire jeter par sa meuf, qui fait caisse, par caisse je veux dire qu'il il a bu toute la nuit, gueule de bois, il arrive en retard au taf. Donc dans le film c'est un peu normal qu'il se fasse... tu sais, qu'il se fasse un petit peu hagar par ses... tu sais, comme quand tu arrives dans un nouveau travail et que tu te fais bully par les gens avec qui tu taffes, parce que t'es nouveau. Ça a du sens. Il fallait trouver une raison pour ça. Ils ont trouvé cette raison de la tirer dans le fion d'un bonhomme à l'académie. Ils l'ont transformé à Raccoon City, qui est une ville en guise de punition. Pour moi, ça a du sens. Tu vois. C'est vrai qu'il est clumsy, mais c'est le seul personnage qui a un développement, qui a une évolution comparé aux autres. Au début, c'est un ravagard, et après, il apprend dans des conditions extrêmes, et à la fin, c'est celui qui donne le coup de grâce. Celui qui a le plus la glace, c'est un Rambo à la fin. So I was saying that regarding Leon's development, you know, some people just didn't like the way he's clumsy, they make fun of him. Like I say, he's been bullied because, you know, he's been transferred from his police academy to Raccoon City, which is a shitty city. It should be Raccoon City rather than city. And it's like a punishment, you know. Okay, we're gonna send you there. You did something clumsy. You're gonna go to Raccoon City. He's a kind of loser in the game story because he broke with his girlfriend. He's spending the night drinking, hangover, getting late, clown around because he's been messing up. But you need a initial element, reason why Leon is like this. Like I say, 5 characters, they're all the same technically. Video game characters are all the same. So you have to differentiate them. And also, Leon is the only character you can identify as a new viewer. If you discover Resident Evil through that movies, the viewer can identify through Leon, as he's the only one evolving. At the beginning he's clumsy, he's clowny, whatever you want, he's funny. I like him. I like the way he's played by Avan Jogia. I really like it. And then he progresses very quickly. At the end, he does the panache with the rocket launcher. You know, so at the beginning he's like clumsy, whatever. Then he becomes more confident. His confidence starts to pop out when he's down there by the cell with Ben Bertolucci. The zombie kills Bertolucci, and then Claire comes, shoot him, then he stand up again. Then he's mad, he's like, I gotta do something, and he goes like crazy, and he kill him. That's when he start to build his personality. That's where Leon start to be the Leon we gonna discover through the franchise in the movie if it's more developed. And in the end, it finally becomes like tough and use like the Rambo, like the launcher, rocket launcher, like Rambo-ish style. You know, he's the only one having like that type of development in that short movie. Think about it. Makes sense to me. Yeah. Like I say, Lisa Trevor is like going back and forth and between her past and present, and hence the haunted mansion, by the way, which is a reference. You know, she's a ghost in the haunted mansion. You know, like she's like a spectrum. She has some memories there in the orphanage. She moved like a ghost. You know, the things you can't understand unless you know how to write a story. And I can tell that he's been using these elements from like the 70s Italian horror movies. You know, Jonas Roberts is a founder of horror movies from the 70s, Italian one in particular, Carpenter in particular. And Shinji Mikami used this material to develop Resident Evil. Like I say, it's an inception. Mikami used this, and then Johannes Roberts used it too. It's well done. I like it. And the reason why Lisa Trevor is wearing her mother face here is a kind of homage, an homage, I don't know how you say, a tribute to her mother. It's a way to stimulate her memories and to help her to stay human. You know, it's clear to me in the game and in the movie. I think that's it. I said pretty much everything about the movie. Overall, I loved it. I watched it twice, and I'm gonna watch it a third time because I liked it. And there's still stuff that I wanna see, Easter eggs, so I'm gonna try to find them. And yeah, some of you didn't like it. I enjoyed it twice. Hold on. There's something I wanted to talk about. Let me try to explain you some stuff. Remember the red-green spectrum? That's Carpenter. The lights. You know, the photographic director. I think it's Johannes Roberts took care of the lights and everything, or maybe hired someone. I'm not sure. But the reference is Carpenter and 70s horror movies. The lights, the reddish light in the orphanage, the blue one in the parking lot, the RPD parking lot, and greenish in the mansion is like a tribute to Carpenter. And like I said, remember that the movie is inspired, and the game is inspired from B movies. Like I said, I showed you a picture earlier that you can find on my Twitter account, and it says Georgie is explaining the Capcom artist, official artist, made a poster, a beautiful poster, like Hollywood blockbuster like, and pointing to the reference, like he's saying that B movie like blockbuster, Hollywood blockbuster poster, and you know, like the references are there, and you can find those references in the movie. So I'm satisfied, honestly. I explained like West Coast sunglasses. I explained you what is an adaptation, extrapolation, and elision. So I explained why Johannes Roberts developed robots the way he did. I explained why Jill is more like Rambo-ish and fits better the movie than the game, because, like I said, no manicure, no room for save room. You hide behind a door, the zombie disappear, the leakers disappear. It doesn't work like that in the movie. Action, action, action. In the movie, it's a horror movie with a hint, with a glimpse of a 90s action movie. Remember this. The music choices make sense to me. I explain it. like the crush one from Jennifer Page at the beginning, is because Leon is heartbroken. He's like hangover. He doesn't realize what's going on. He doesn't give shit. He doesn't care. He's trying to forget about it. This, hence, it's just a little crush to reassure himself. He listened to the lyrics, to the music, and goes, "Oh, forget about her. It's just a little crush." And then he's there, and the zombie comes, and he's burning, and then, you know, like Chief Irons shoot the shit out of him and go like, I love that scene. Go watch the movie if you didn't. It makes sense to me. I swear to God, I'm satisfied. I'm really satisfied. I've been waiting for this. You know, I've been waiting for this movie. What else? I explained how Johannes Roberts wanted us to perceive Wesker's sympathy and how he became dark. You know, how he's been... You know, like I said, there's an extrapolation of Barry, who's missing in the movie, so there's an illusion of Barry, but somehow Wesker is the new Barry in the same time, because he's the one being blackmailed, instead of Wesker blackmailing Barry, manipulating Barry to become the traitor. Here we have Wesker being blackmailed by that strange entity. I think it's Ada. You know, she comes and she puts like that kind of like iPod stuff with all the reference instructions and everything. I think Ada came. That's her style, right? Maybe that's not her, but I think that's her. You know, who would go to Raccoon City knowing that it's gonna explode unless you're well trained? I think that's her. And yeah, he's been. We don't know if he's been blackmailed. We know how he made that choice to just give up his star's casket, you know, like, and just go for money and try to escape. He says that he doesn't like his shitty life and living in that place, and he has an opportunity. But there's some, with that being said, there's a lot of things being unsaid. We don't know what's his true motivation. You know, that's how we present the thing to Jill. But hey, you discovered this. I'm gonna watch it again. I explain why. What's the function of the sunglasses? It has a narrative function. You know, when you wear sunglasses like Mr. Smith in Matrix, it's because it's supposed to be like soulless. You have a soulless enemy, like a bad guy. You don't want to discover who he is. He's already established as like dark. You know, that's why Johannes Roberts doesn't want Wesker to wear them at the beginning of the movie. Otherwise, he's already an established monster. And in the end of the movie, by the way, you discover, spoiler, that Wesker is revived. He becomes a monster. His eyes becomes fucked up. You know, you don't see the color. I was expecting them to be shown as a close-up. I was very close. I made a comment that you can find on Instagram. You look at the date before the movie came out. I was like, this is gonna happen the way I predicted, and I was right. I knew that he was wearing his sunglasses at the end with a close-up on his face. I was expecting the eyes to gleam, like the reddish eye, like to gleam through the sunglasses, and this event will close up a chapter of his life, hence the movie at the end. So it closed the chapter of Wesker's life, like good guy life or whatever, but it closed a chapter of his life, hence the rebirth, the revivification, the re double dot, right? The renaissance of, you know, like of Bad Wesker. We have a new Bad Wesker, And I was right. Go check the vignette of Tom Hopper on the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City Instagram. Check the date. Check the date. I was right. Because I know how to write a story. I know how you can transfer a video game story to like a movie story. How you scenarize all the stuff. I know that some techniques I've been learning through that industry. What else? What else? Leon getting late is like getting drunk in the motel, drinking. That's not something new that has been included in the movie only. That's part of the plot in the game, in the two games, in the original game. In the original game, people saying, yeah, but Leon seems to be like a useless or whatever. They told him not to come in Resident Evil 2 remake. They're telling him, don't come. Stay away from Raccoon City, even if it's your first day on the job. Do not come. You're useless. You're gonna be useless. And in the movie, in the Resident Evil original, he got drunk, no plan, no apartment, broke up with his girlfriend, wakes up drunk, get late, heartbroken, overwhelmed by the events. Not something new. You got this in the games actually. It's not something that you just discover through the game. Yeah, I guess that's it. That's my review. I think I said it all. There's nothing left to say. If you have like a suggestion, just tell me. Maybe I can talk about it. You have questions, just tell me, and I'll be reading your messages. So I didn't play the game because that wasn't the point. Okay, so don't mind. Hold on, I'm just gonna double check if I said everything. The sunglasses, Leon being late, being clumsy, clown around, bullied, makes sense to me. Oh yeah, and the haircut. You know, they even make fun of him. Like Chief Iron makes fun of Leon because he's like, get a haircut or whatever. You know, that explains, and I explain why in the game he's the hero. For the marketing, you have to get a good-looking, shaved, but in the movie, Leon is like heartbroken. He broke up with his girlfriend, gets late. He gets late on his first day on the job. Why he's gonna care about his haircut and his beard or whatever? He doesn't care, and that makes sense to me. He's like inexperienced rookie, clumsy, naive to the game. In the game, he's being manipulated by Ada Wong, saved 3 times by Ada Wong, 3 times. How do you see that as someone with experience? By some random lady. He knows nothing about her. She comes, save him, clowning. She clowns him around. Go get me this, go get me this. He's like, yes, yes, yes. She's playing with his emotions, maybe because he just broke with a lady, you know, like his girlfriend, so he thinks, oh, damn, she's good looking. She kissed me, you know, he's excited. But still, he's a rookie. It makes sense to me that he's being clowned around in the movie. I love Leon, you know, he's my preferred character in the whole franchise because that's the first Resident Evil game character I played. Resident Evil 2 original is my first Resident Evil I played when he came out. And I always remember that Leon. By the way, why I remember he has brown eyes, brown hair, and all the Mediterranean features? Because I remember this. I remember my brother playing Resident Evil 4. I was in Canada. I lived in Northern America for 3 years, right? Canada and Quebec and Los Angeles. Then I came back and my brother has the GameCube, I believe. And I saw him playing Resident Evil 4, Leon. I'm like, who's that guy? He's like, that's Leon. I'm like, no, that's not Leon. Leon is not blonde. He's like, yeah, that's Leon. Then I'm like, okay, why they change his design? But who cares? You know, who cares? And I talked about Lisa Trevor, her development, how the story was more exploited in the movie than in the game, how she got manipulated, how she's more human in the movie than in the game. Yeah, this is it. I explain how Wesker and Barry are being extrapolated, hence the elision of Barry, and how William Birkin, Mr. X, and the Tyrant are being extrapolated, hence the hand of the close-up on the hand of Birkin while he's being doing his transformation through the end of the movie. So I explain extrapolation, elision. I remind you that Leon is an Italian with brown eyes, dark chestnut hair, and Mediterranean skin tone. You can go check this in my playlist called Fun Fact. There's a video on Ava Jogia and Leon. There's a video on Hannah, John Kamen, and Jill. All the sources, academic sources, fact, observation, and definitions in the description. Go check. Check the Capcom work design digital book in the link, page 27. Check zoom on the eyes, the face, the features. There's the text in Japanese that I did translate it. Put it on Twitter for you guys, so you don't have to bother asking. You can ask if you want, if you know someone who knows Japanese. I even retyped in Japanese so that you don't have to try to write it down and ask. You copy paste what I or if you can ask someone who speaks Japanese to check if it's quite the same, and you will see. Yeah, remember how Leon turns blonde in Resident Evil 4, blonde blue-eyed, and becomes like a super skilled agent all of a sudden after his less than 1 day professional experience on his resume. To me, Leon is not badass in Resident Evil 2. He becomes badass in Resident Evil 4. So there is a transition from Leon being clumsy and inexperienced in Resident Evil 2, and then experience as F in Resident Evil 4. There's two separate timelines for Leon. When he's new, when he becomes experienced enough. Yeah, so the movie is really an origin story. Wesker is gradually becoming the Wesker we know in the games, and Leon's confidence is progressively improving as timestamps are flying by in the movie. Hence the timestamps in the movie, you know. Leon is also there to so that the new audience can identify and learn about the origin of the franchise, because like I said, Leon in the beginning, in the original franchise, is a Mediterranean Italian with soft copper tan skin, brown eyes, and brown hair, like chestnuts hair, whatever the color is. It's dark brown, whatever you wanna qualify it. We say châtain foncé in French. And like I said, apart from him, from Leon, everyone is really badass in warrior mode. So having 5 badasses would be boring as F. So we need some character development. Even if it was short, they don't have much of line. Still, I liked it. We see how Leon evolves and progresses as they even evolve. Remember that at the beginning, in the game, he's naive, young. He's a young rookie that learns in extreme circumstances, just like in the movie. I also want to give the example of the the movie Fist of the North Stars, Hokuto no Ken in Japanese, from the 80s, which sums up an arc of a 100-episode series into a very short movie. And I like Fist of the North Stars in the 80s, even though he was like compressed. I liked it. Story is slightly different. That's called a remake, an adaptation, or I don't know how you call this, like a movie remake. I loved it. So when you make a transfer of original work to an adaptation or remake, there has to be something missing that you call elision. And to balance, you need some extrapolation. You're gonna replace stuff, or you're gonna combine some elements to balance them. I think it was well done. The other side, I love the snake reference in the game. The yawn. Do you remember yawn in Resident Evil 1? The big snake with Aiken, Richard Aiken, when he's playing with his 90 shitty phone from the 90s, like he's playing the snake. I like the reference. I think he was brilliant. And Jill making fun of him, like going like, would you prefer being eaten by a shark or a giant snake? That was a hell of a reference. Poor Richard Aiken. Like I say, Jill in this adaptation fits the action chaotic vibe pretty well. A character too elegant facing hordes of zombies doesn't sound credible to me. Like I said, a too nice Jill in this type of movie, horror movie, doesn't make sense to me. No, you won't solve puzzle in the movie. You won't stop by save room and hide and wait. No, it's action. Yeah, it's like a horror movie with a hint of 90s action movies, so it makes sense to me. Hannah John Kamen has experience in action movies, so she fits perfectly. And if you have a problem, something wrong with the choice, look my playlist, Hannah John Kamen versus VS Jill Valentine, in my playlist called Fun Fact. Look the sources, look the video. It's 5 minutes, I believe. That will answer your question. To me, it's pretty consistent to have a heroine with a strong character. Let's remember that Jill is Japanese. I'm only saying Japanese because people like to say Leon is only Mexican, only Indian. So Jill has to be only Japanese. I'm making fun of those people, those nonsense. Because when Jill is Japanese, that narrative doesn't work. That colorful spectrum, light spectrum, doesn't work. So find something else. Like, what else? Like in the movie, it's fine to have like some differences. That's a movie, But in the game, which is the source, you don't find anything wrong. I don't care. Like Inez in the action, the live action movie in the opening of Resident Evil 1, she's not Japanese. She's not mixed heritage, and it's fine. That's the choice of the director. See, they choose a director with a different approach. He forget about Jill being Japanese, and he put someone with a different background, Caucasian, Canadian. I think Inez is Canadian, and it was all fine. It was great. Same thing from Leon in the FME or CGI in Resident Evil 2. When you look like the cinematics in Resident Evil 2 original, Leon's eyes turn blue all of a sudden. When you play the game, he has brown eyes. When you go like on the inventory, you zoom on the picture, the profile picture, he has brown eyes. But then when you go like, you see the cinematics, that's a choice. That's a direction that the scenarist and the director took. It's different from Isao Ohishi. It's different from Joji Leziembid. It's just like a question of direction, you know, like, and it's all fine. So when Jill is Hannah John Kamen, I think it's all fine. She fits perfectly. She nailed the role. She has the action vibe that such actor needed, and she did great. Remember, like I said, none of the models is non-Japanese. None of the models is half Japanese or half Asian. Julia Voth, she's not mixed. She's not Japanese or Asian. Sasha Zolotova, neither. The Bosniak model, her name is something like Amira Slevin. I forgot, Amira something. She's not Japanese, she's not Asian, and it's all good. That's a choice. That's a directive choice. Directors wanted to be Jill to be like that, to be portrayed like that. It's fine. So if we're fine with this, I'm fine with anything else. Especially when it comes to an adaptation. If it's fine in the source material, in the game, no, you change like the direction, the artistic direction in the game. If you have no problem with this, don't tell me that you have a problem with an adaptation. To me, it doesn't sound credible. I'll give you an example. Aquaman, played by Jason Momoa. He's not blonde, he doesn't have blue eyes, he's not shaved, he has a big beard. Nick Fury, original Nick Fury, in the comics, is Caucasian, brunette. And then he becomes Samuel L. Jackson in the new Marvel franchise movie adaptation. They based Nick Fury on Samuel L. Jackson at the demand of Marvel for the franchise, for the movie franchise, so people can identify, you know. So that's the way it is. That's a direction that they wanted to take. It's all fine. I liked it. I don't complain. I'm grateful about it, and I enjoyed it. Let's remember one more thing. There's something I'd like to remember. Robert Kendo and Emma Kendo, they Japanese. Yeah, Kendo, you know, Nikkei, they Nikkei Jin. I mean, like half Nikkei Jin. Did you see anybody portraying Robert Kendo as half Japanese, Asian, or whatever? Who cares? You know, if it's accepted in the movie, in the game, if that's the direction in the game, and you don't see an ambiguity, don't tell me you have a problem in the movie. I think that's it. I'm gonna close with this. If you have a question, like, I'm gonna read your messages, and that's it. I hope that you liked it. Yeah, Hannah is half Nigerian, but you know what? Miss Japan 2015 is hafu, that's the term. And nowadays you can be Nikkei Jin hafu, because back in the days there was no such thing as hafu in the Nikkei community. Right after World War II, or when they started to move in Brazil, up to nowadays you find Nikkei Jin 100% Japanese staying, you know, like in their diaspora. That's the way it is. Hold on. And like I said, as long as it's a movie and it's well done, it's fine. But the ambiguity is supposed to be in the game. Remember this, not in the movie. Movie is adaptation. Game is the source material. So ambiguity in the game, not in the movie. Ariana Miyamoto. Remember? I'm gonna show you who is Miss Japan. Yeah, she represents Japan. And then you tell me you have a problem with Anna. Hold on. And I'm gonna close with this because it's time to go to sleep. And Ariana Miyamoto. She's beautiful. Let me show you. Hold on. Let me show you. Who is Miss Japan 2015? Miss Universe Japan, by the way. There. See? That's Miss Japan. So that could be technically in the adaptation the mother when it comes to the features of Jill Valentine. Miss Japan 2015. Okay. Ariana Miyamoto, go check. I think I'm done with it. And that makes more sense to have a Ariana Miyamoto-ish mother of Jill Valentine than a non-Japanese or non-mixed Jill in the game. You know, when it comes to rationality. Like I say, I like to be rational. Okay, I have super sad. I'm gonna go check now. And did you hate anything about the movie? It was. Thank you for your donation, Lani109. Your $2 Canadian. Thank you for your patronage. I wish it was longer. I really wish it was longer. I don't like that some stuff were being all over the places. Not everything can be perfect. I would give a 8 out of 10. I'm a big fan of the franchise, you know, so, and I know the reference, I know how you write a story, I know what Johannes Roberts is trying to provide to the viewers, and I'm truly grateful for his work. Is there others stuff I didn't see in the chat? Is this the only? Hold on, I'm gonna go check this right now in the. Hold on, stay there. No, I'm gonna do that. Let me read the chat and. Yeah, maybe it's, some stuff are all over the places, but you know, it's not easy. Sony Movies giving like 40 millions to Johannes Robert. He asks some more. If he had more money, he would have 100%. Yeah, the movie would have been much better. But you know, it's pandemic. There is no marketing. The only marketing they used is like for the movie theater, and it has a cost. For Instagram, it has a cost. Social media, it has a cost. The C19, if you know what I mean, health, device, sanitary device they need to deploy, it has a cost. If you have 100 people working for you on that project, and you have to spend $60 a day for them to check if it's all fine during the whole time you're shooting the movie, I would say that of 40 million, 25 has been used properly for the movie. The rest is like marketing, advertising, sanitary device, and all the supplies that you have to provide, food and everything. You know, that's not much of money, but I appreciate the work. I loved it. I really loved it. Like I said, I watched it twice, and I will watch it again. So let me check your super chats. Is there anything I didn't particularly like? I'm satisfied. You know, I won't say I don't. I'm not here to say I don't like. I'm here to say like I like the movie. I appreciate it. If it's something you don't like, you tell me, and I explain you why it could be better. It was like this because, like I say, I know how to write stories. I know some process that not all the viewers. I've been in this industry. I work as a model, actor, stuntman, martial artist. I'm a writer too, so and I know how you process through that dialogue process from the source to the movie. Lenny 109, you did another donation of $5 US, and you say some people say they mad cause Leon didn't do much. Like I said, Lenny 109, Leon is the only character that you see actually having an evolution. He didn't do much, that's true. At the beginning he's lazy, he's a clown, they make fun of him, they clown him around because he's being bullied because it's his first day on the job. That makes sense to me, you know, that perfect sense to me. You there? So what? People think that you're gonna be on the first day on the job. They're gonna serve you coffee and bring you donuts. You serious? Still, he's being like doing some wrong step. You know, the movie director needed to find a reason why people would clown him around aside from being bullied, because that would be too cliche. You know, like, oh yeah, he's new, he's being bullied. But adding this dimension to Leon's development character would make more volumes. In terms of volumes, it would give some more content to the viewers. You know, some didn't like it, some liked it, and then he starts to evolve through the movie. Beginning is like zero, then he becomes confident, more confident, and in the end, a hint of badassness. So that's the good direction for Resident Evil movies we all wanted, I guess. Leon's obviously in the path becoming Resident Evil 4 Badass Leon. If there is some sequel or like prequel or whatever, if there is like something coming, I guess there will be something, because at the end of the movie, spoiler, okay guys, leave now or stay, but at your own expenses. So at the end of the movie, Ada comes. Wesker got killed by Jill. Sorry, spoiler, I told you guys. Because because Wesker is mad, he's becoming mad. Some saying, oh, he's nice, he's a gentle, he's whatever. He's not nice anymore. He killed the parents of that lady. I forgot her name, you know, like Resident Evil 2 remake and Birkin's daughter. He killed her father in front of her, and the mother in front of her. Boom! Put it in the head, man, cold-blooded. How is that being nice? How is that being like? We have different conception or like definitions of being nice. That's pure evil. He's just big. he's becoming crazy. He has to do some choices. He realizes he's got cocked in the moment by the people that trusted him. Most of all, he's the chief of the stars. They find him killing someone for money. Killing two people, two parents in front of their daughter and pointing his weapon at her. God knows what would have happened if Jill wasn't there. Now Wesker is becoming the bad guy anyway, that he will be. And I think he would have killed her. Because you know what? Wesker is becoming like money, he wants money. She prints money. He knows the city is gonna be destroyed. He's not gonna bring her, because if he brings her, she's gonna be evidence. So don't tell me Wesker is a nice guy. How can you be nice when you point your weapon to a lady whom you killed, the mother and the father, cold-blooded, right in front of her? That's not being nice. Anyway, what else? Kato, I previously sent another super chat. Yeah, I've seen this, Kato. Calm down, Mr. myself, Carlos. I'm Carlos Oliveira, by the way, not Avan Jogia. It doesn't look like Carlos. Fantasy when people saying that Avan has curly hair. He doesn't have curly hair. You don't know what curly hair. Jesus had curly hair in the Bible, not Avan. Avan has straight hair, beautiful straight hair. L'Oreal CM looking straight hair. So stop bullshitting that narrative. Like Leon, Leon looks like me, or like Avan looks like. That's not true. Avan is. He looks better than me. Let's be honest. Come on. He's a handsome guy. Like, he's younger than me. He's like, come on. He doesn't look like me. Yeah. Carlos is being like, fuck, I wanna play. Stop speaking about the movie. I'm here. I'm being you. Hold on. Let's do some. See, you're gonna tell me that Avan Joga looks like me? Seriously? Hey, dude. When I'm talking to you, okay, don't show me your back. That's rude, man. I am Carlos Oliveira, and Avan is Leon S. Kennedy. Yeah, I'm yelling at myself. How did I play the tofu thing? Is like a something you unlock. It's like a bonus. It was a funny game, but quite difficult. There's different tofus in Resident Evil 2. It's Resident Evil 2. Not 3, by the way. So guys, I think I said everything about it. The movie, my review is done. It was a bit long, but I think it's well explained. Sorry I didn't put that much of effort trying to speak like in a proper accent, because I don't want to speak like I just don't like acting while it's not necessary. You see, I can switch my voice and speak with my French accent. I don't care. I'm not acting right now, so you see. So pardon my French. Okay, guys, this is it. I hope that you enjoy my review. It was a bit long, and yeah, like hopefully we'll see some nice sequel of or prequel, who knows, of the movie, because Resident Evil 3, remember, happens one day before Resident Evil 2 and one day after Resident Evil 2. So prequel, sequel. I believe Johannes Roberts said that he wanted to extend Code Veronica in his installment, in the coming installment, if there is one. I would love that. I would love to see an adaptation on Code Veronica, and maybe Resident Evil 3. It's a sequel, prequel. I think that's the formula he's gonna use, because I think that Sony, if they gave him a budget, it's gonna be maybe more, a little bit more, but not that much more. I think there's a chance we see something coming after Welcome to Raccoon City. Okay guys, I hope that you enjoyed me being honest. If you have questions, just drop it down there in the description. Be nice. There's no reason to be aggressive in your comment. You can explain stuff very gently. Yeah, we can disagree. We can agree that we disagree on some stuff. We have different opinions. My opinion isn't especially true. Yours isn't especially wrong. I'm not here to say I'm wrong, you're right. We have different opinions. I enjoyed the movie. I loved it. I'm a huge fan of Mikami's original franchise. And that's it. If you want to drop a comment down there, go ahead. Like the video. Subscribe if you didn't. Get the notification by pressing the bell. My social media, as I mentioned in the description. I will add a lot of stuff, references in the description. Maybe not now, but later. Yeah. If you wanna help that channel, there's a donation link I'll be adding. If you want like the sources on what I advanced regarding Jill and Leon's origins, go check my playlist called Fun Fact. Check the sources on the description and enjoy. I guess this is it, guys. See you and take care. Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen.